Hello and welcome to the Untitled Car Show. I am your host, Ike. I am currently having some delicious tacos with my little daughter. Can you say hi, Mia? No, she's being shy. Another one of the crazy hectic weeks. Next week we have in the can an interview, and we got some episodes coming up. So next week we're back to business as usual, at least for the Monday and Wednesday release, and hopefully we'll have either a Friday or another Saturday release. So I think Saturday release might be the wave of the future, just for my own sanity and trying to keep the timetable going. So for those of you who don't know, like I said, I've changed around my work schedule, which is good, and then I've started adding in more video work into what I need to do, and there's going to be some video stuff coming out here soon out on the YouTube channel. You can hear my dogs going crazy in the background because there's someone mowing in the background. So hold on, you're going to get to hear the wonderful personal life of Ike at the moment, which is pretty much how this all works. Which is fun. Talking to, hi, go on. I do think, I don't know, I always do enjoy when I do listen to other podcasters, other presenters, videos, stuff like that. I always do enjoy the look into the personal life bit. I do think that's fascinating. Because there's a lot of stuff you don't get to see, and one of the great things, because who knew what, Johnny Carson was up to back in the day? Like, you could do whatever you wanted, and really it would all be taken out into wash by publicists, producers, stuff like that. And the image of who he is and who he was is probably, very different from who he actually was, maybe. I don't necessarily with Johnny Carson, but I'm sure there was a lot of terrible stuff famous people did back in the day that no one knew about, because there was no look into the personal life. Now, that's not to say there's I don't like shows like TMZ, stuff like that, because I think that's just exploitative, I guess. If you want someone to look into it should be a autobiography. There's no reason to do a biography on someone if they're currently living anymore. I don't think so anyway. Unless it's maybe a divisive figure and you need both sides of a story or whatnot. But you don't need to be assaulting people with cameras at the airline counter, or trying to think of famous people, and I'm blanking on it right now because this is how little I pay attention to current media. But someone wants to go out to a bar and get drunk, and that's their own business. You don't need to be shoving a camera into their face, or taking pictures of them as they get out of cars. It's all, which is extra weird to me, because if I wanted to use a picture of someone, or video someone took of an item, I would have to call them or get them to sign a waiver, say that I can film them, or film in a place where there's no expectation of privacy, by putting up signs that say, hey, if you're entering this area, you could be recorded, blah blah blah. Yet somehow TMZ gets away with it, and I think so. Just had this realization, I think. So for those of you who don't know, TMZ stands for 30 Mile Zone, which is like a regulation in the Actors Guild that has to do with the 30-mile zone around Los Angeles, or point in Los Angeles, where there's different rules for filming and whatnot. And I wonder if you're in that 30-mile zone, if you just have this expectation of being filmed, which would make sense, I guess. Maybe that's how they get away with it. I'm not quite so sure. Yeah. I don't know. I came across, if you're going to hear in an episode coming up, I love the Volvo project. I love how I have to do this. But
Blow bubbles.
yeah, you want to go outside and blow bubbles? We'll go outside and blow bubbles in a bit. I love the Volvo project, but one of the things I've always been into, look out for is an Opel GT because I love those cars. I think they're weird and goofy. I don't want to spend a ton of money on one because I want to do weird and goofy stuff to it, but I like the look of it. One popped up nearby on the Craigslist, trying to get a hold of the guy. Went out, saw the vehicle, shot back an email, nothing back yet. So I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with that. So I might get rid of the Volvo project and pick up an Opel project, which I think, spirit of things, kind of fits in line with what this show is and who I am as a person.
Blow bubbles.
Oh, blow bubbles? Why don't I get you something to drink? You look like you're thirsty. So I hope that wouldn't disappoint too many people. I don't know. It's an interesting little car. It's mostly intact. I just got to see what's going on with its title and all that, and make sure that I can actually get it out on the road, which is what I sent the email back about, and I haven't heard back. So I don't know. Old school guy, runs a salvage yard. We'll see what's going on with that. I don't know, I might give him a call later today since I do have his phone number. I don't know. Weirdly, for being someone who talks to people on the phone, does interviews, calls up people all the time, still rather not phobic of it. I don't know. It's just, I really don't like talking on the phone for whatever reason. Which is strange now that I'm thinking about it, seeing as I basically do that as my hobby. I don't know. It's strange. I'll give it a call and see. You know what I think it is there was back in the day, if you had to make a phone call, at school, you had to call your parents or you had to call, whoever who was in charge of you. It was always tense. I didn't get in trouble a lot, but there were some times where it was you're going to have to call your parents and explain it to them. And the psychological torture, torment of, you sitting in the principal's office, dialing a phone, and you can pick up on the other end and your parents are going to be okay, why is my son calling me in the middle of the day? And then you got to hand the phone over to the principal. And then I think that might be part of it because I'm just realizing there's it's a trapped thing inside there, a repressed memory somewhere inside there. And I don't think kids today are going to have that because we didn't have, there wasn't here's my parents' phone number, written down at the principal's office. It was you had to go in and give them the phone number, and you had to dial it. So it was interesting. I don't know. What are you doing? What are you doing there, sweetie? Don't chew on your straw. Yeah. It's been nice though. So it's a weird little place since No, don't blow bubbles in your water. So because there's because of the so I'll give him a call. There's another Opel a little bit further away. It's too much money though. I don't want to spend it. So I got to call. I got to do some talking and dealing with people. And then part of that is as much as I like that project, because what I do is it comes down to in my time where I can sit down and relax and just let the mind wander. If I had a project that wasn't so labor intensive, like the Opel would probably not be as labor intensive as the Volvo. It would probably lead to more frequent uploads of podcasts, simply because, right now, maybe not so much, because working on that project, the last few days, or last few times I've been able to work on it, it's been 90 plus degrees with 100% humidity, and you're outside, working in the garage, and you realize I am soaked for no good reason, because I haven't been working that hard. I've just been sitting on the concrete working on the car. So it is a bit of an issue. I don't know. it's one of those things where Ike's just got to sit down and figure out, okay, this is the time we do this, this is the time we do this, this is the time we do this. And now that I'm having to be forced into being an early bird, it's a little bit more difficult than it should be. So we'll see. It's oh, that's not how you drink out of there, sweetie. Do you want the other lid so you can drink out of that? So my daughter is very good at drinking out of straw cups, but we're not too good about, drinking like a normal cup. No, Mia, no. No. Come on, put this back in there. There you go. All right. Parenthood. It's fun though because you get to like see all the little bits and pieces of yourself in them. I don't know. I've had some episodes where I talk about how fun it is to raise kids. I won't bore all you kidless people now, but there's a lot of like. You go online, you look at the Craigslist, and there's people who are talking about, well, I got to get rid of X, Y, and Z car because I just had a kid, and, I need to get something different because I have a kid. It's like, I don't think you need to change your lifestyle around just because you've had a kid in terms of your cars. I do think you have to make some smart moves. Like, I tried to go from my little hot hatchback to a station wagon. And then I ended up back in a hot hatchback. Now, part of that's because I blew up 2 head gaskets in that station wagon. But it's fascinating. Like, you see people sell stuff. Like, there was a guy selling a 5-liter Ford LTD because he, like, well, I have a kid and I need to get rid of it. It's like, that's a 4-door car with decent gas mileage and decent shape, which... I saw that and was like, that's kind of tempting to get and like put a supercharger on, because it's the same 5-liter as the Coyotes have, or not the Coyotes, as the Fox bodies have. Ford, we need to talk about your use of animals here because it's throwing me off a bit. Still better than chassis codes, right? Right, Mia? We don't like chassis codes, right? What? Stop doing that. Caca. Stop it. Don't put stuff in your... Okay, whatever. Yeah, we don't like shit. Yeah, oh, don't do that. You're going to blow out the speakers. Do you like chassis codes? No, we don't like chassis codes. Nuh-uh. Or engine codes. Yeah. And that's... I'm sitting there thinking about it, because... That's one of those things where I've been having to learn German engine codes for this Audi motor, and that's been, you can't see if I'm doing air quotes, wonderful. It's just, oh, and that's the other thing. So, yeah, it'd be time for your nap for you to lay down. That's the other thing is go check out the Gears and Gasoline guys, friends of the show, recently hit 100,000 subscribers. On their program, so that they now, I mean, that's an impressive mark. It's way better than my YouTube stuff does. I need to get on that because that seems to be, this YouTube seems to have. Yeah, you're all done? Okay, we'll get you down. This YouTube thing seems to have some legs, even with all the demonetization and all that BS they're dealing with as of late. But those guys, they're impressive. And when I had them on the show, I think I said, one of the great things is I get to see, the people who are going to have, you can tell are going to be like the next, latest and greatest thing in the industry. And I definitely think those guys are on their way to being a commanding force in this industry. I think you're going to see a lot more reviews and a lot more great stuff coming out of them. So if you haven't already subscribed to them, go check them out. There's a lot of videos you can go look at and see what they're up to. Yeah. So there's that. Yeah, Mia, what are you doing over there? We're obsessed with opening and closing doors as of late. Which I guess is a little weird. It can drive you slowly nuts to do it. Yeah, pushing the store. You want to go upstairs? Come on, let's go upstairs. Yeah. So. Hold on. I gotta pause this. Alright, sorry about that. We get a little fussy when we go upstairs. So now we're on our way. Again, our little slice of life we got going on here. Now we're on our way to go to the park, which is honestly one of my favorite things to do on the weekends with her. Yeah, partly because she enjoys it so much. Yeah. You like going to the park, sweet? And partly because we get to take some fun back roads to get over to the park. So that's always fun and exciting. Yeah. It's a fun little... I don't know, it's interesting. It's daddy-daughter time on the weekends. So I always feel like when I say that, like, it implies, like, that there's, like, a divorce or something. Like, when I'm out and about in public and people are like, oh, or I have to explain to people, like, oh, so, like, you spend time with the kid on the weekend? Like, yeah, I have her all weekend, and then my wife has her the rest of the week. It's like, oh, okay. It's like, people, like, presume that means, like, ex-wife, I think, but not so much the case. Especially nowadays with the way the world is, where everyone has to work if you want to make ends meet and all that. So the wife works on the weekends, I work on the weekdays, so that means we flip-flop with, childcare responsibilities, which is nice. So, I do recommend having some alone time with the kid. I think it's good for him. What do you say, Mia? Are you just back there looking at all the scenery, having a little smile on your face? You're just used to Daddy rambling on, aren't you? Yep. She's not a mute, but she sometimes she just likes to sit and enjoy and see what's going on. She's a little observer for the most part. So I think it's healthy having some alone time with the wife, alone time with the kid, and then together time as a whole family unit. I think it's very helpful and healthy and allows, because the worst thing, I do think the worst thing in life that you can really get into is a routine that never changes. I think you need to try something new almost every day if you can. If you can't do something new every day, then once a week is a very good option. If you can't do once a week, do once a month. If you can't do once a month, do every other month. Just make it so it's something you would never try before. Whether that's trying fish for the first time, yeah, or maybe not so extreme to say go skydiving, see how that works out for you. Something new. Just try a new way to get to and from work. Try something new, at the house. Just something. And then with the little one or whatnot, just try and help them experience something new themselves. Yeah. So, I don't know. I think it's fun. I think having a kid is really... Yeah, exactly. I think that's really fun. It's really exciting. It's different. You're not sure quite how you're going to feel about it until you get into it. So, having now been in it for 2 years, a little bit more, it's very enjoyable. It's very rewarding. And I don't know, I wouldn't trade it for the world. So, stressful. Definitely stressful. Yeah, you're a little stressful. Yeah. You can't already be sleepy, can you? No? Yeah, okay. I don't know.
Square.
You see a square? Yeah, we're behind a Volkswagen. It's very square. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, so as we kind of drive... There we go. As we kind of drive to the little park and, see what's going on, I figure I would just kind of... so I think I was talking about the Gears and Gasoline guys before I kind of had to pause it. Those guys are great. Ben and Ben over there, I wish them the best. I do think... I'm not sure if I said it then, but I think they're going to take the role, a Matt Farah or, maybe even a Doug DeMuro, kind of take over that spot once those guys, kind of age out of it, I'm not saying they're old, but, you think about it, Matt's been doing this close to 20 years now, really, with the car reviews and the drive, trying its own thing. I mean, he's been around basically since the internet was dial-up modems for the most part. So I'm curious how that feels, been doing it so long in such a new medium and seeing the world kind of grow up around you. It's got to be fascinating. Yeah, said so. I like the little back roads. Yeah. I'm gonna have to close it out because she's being cute and adorable, and it's ruining my train of thought. So, like I said, we'll be back. Regular episodes coming out next week. We're back on schedule, 100%. So, thanks everyone so much for listening, putting up with the last couple of weeks. I know it's been difficult. If you need a fix of podcast, go listen to GTB Johnny over at the Blown Pistons or the Slipstream Network or the Team Clear Coat guys. They'll help fill the void I left in your soul this week. And who knows? You might end up liking one of them better than me, and then I might just be spoiled potatoes or whatever the expression is to you. So go give them a listen. Check us out next week. Follow us on all the social media at Untitled Car Show. Send me a message. Let me know how you're doing, what you're up to. I enjoy the fan interaction. So have a good night. Have a good evening. Wherever you are, whatever time it is there. Thank you so much for listening. Please be safe out there.